Hey everyone, this is Cape Talk episode 11. I'm Marrongelli. Sitting next to me is Philip Martinez, as always. And today we're going to be discussing The Punisher.
Yeah, the new trailer. I think this is like the longest trailer we've gotten so far for The Punisher. We still don't have a release date yet, but it was pretty dope, I must say.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was different footage than they showed at Comic-Con.
Yes.
Did you see this stuff from Comic-Con
Yeah,
or no?
I did.
Oh, how'd you see it?
You mean the one from the Hall H panel?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I was like, you weren't there.
I was not there. I thought you were talking about the other teaser they did.
Yeah, the smaller one.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of the tweets. Did you see the tweets where it's like people are speculating on the release date where it's all blacked out and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I try to highlight over it.
Yeah.
But maybe it's Cinema. Oh, it's
not. Print it out, hold it up to the light.
It's not. Damn.
Oh, that's too funny. But yeah, so you're speculating what, November release? Or?
Yeah, because I think Netflix already released their October. What's coming in and what's coming out.
Nothing comic booky or?
Not really, because I think that would have made a big deal. Like, oh, here it is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna presume it's November. It'd be weird to put it in December.
Right.
That would be really weird.
Well, when does Jessica Jones season 2 have a release date?
No,
I don't believe there's any sort of release date for anything.
We just know the years. It's like 2018, and this is definitely coming out before the year's over.
So what, they usually do a March release. So are you thinking that maybe Jessica Jones season 2 will be in March, and then November will be The Punisher? Because Jessica Jones season 2 is definitely the first one to release next
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely doing two every year, right? So we had... This year was a little weird, because Defenders came out in August. And Iron Fist was March? Mm-hmm. So yeah, this year's a little weird. So we have 3 releases this year. But November is normally they have like you said, a spring and a fall.
Right. So
we're gonna get this in November, I believe, and then next year will be Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
What about in December? Because Marvel's got Thor. They've already got. November is such a packed month for movies. I mean, what makes them think people are going to stay in all weekend?
Oh, the thing with Netflix is just okay, we'll go see Thor in the movies this weekend, and then watch Punisher next weekend. Oh, it's not going away,
right?
And the movies aren't going away anytime soon either. So.
I think it's going to get a really good... I think a lot of people are going to watch this. I think tons of people.
Because it's not like anything they've done, I feel. Because it doesn't feel like a part of the universe.
Right.
That's how it's built almost. Just this has nothing to do with anyone else. Even though he was on Daredevil, Karen Page is coming into the show. Right. So there is connections. I don't know where this takes place. I guess New York still.
It's his past, I think, right?
Well, some of it's the present.
Yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, his story in Daredevil season 2 wasn't over. He killed the guy at the end.
Oh, the Colonel, right?
But I feel like there was someone on top of him.
The blacksmith.
Yeah.
So you think that's going to come into play in The Punisher?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of flashback, and then we'll get him moving forward, because he definitely teams up with that guy, and the long-haired guy.
Yeah.
That's always been his partner in the comics.
You mean Micro?
Is that his name? I feel like a real I was gonna look it up before we started. Jigsaw? You said?
I don't know. I didn't see the long-haired guy.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, as long as we could team up or something," and he goes,
"Oh, if it's team up, it's probably Micro."
And he goes, "Oh well, as long as it's and Punisher's if you don't mind me killing people, or something," and then he was like, "Yeah, I don't care." Something like that. I was just okay, fair enough.
So it's an old war buddy.
Because maybe it is, because I know in the comics, let's see, I'm going to have to look this up. I feel bad now that I didn't do this before.
Come on, Phil, do your I'm just kidding.
I've been
No,
busy.
but, Micro, so the final scene of Daredevil Season 2, Frank Castle goes back to his old house, grabs a CD that's labeled Micro, and that's really what set speculation wild. That CD, because that was a huge cliffhanger for Daredevil. And Daredevil Season 2, like you just brought up, left off on a cliffhanger where it was okay, so we know the blacksmith exists. This guy that Punisher has an old history with from Afghanistan who set up the murders of his family. We don't know if he's the blacksmith. Like you said, it was speculation. Maybe he was. Maybe there was someone above him. So it'll be interesting how they tie in that storyline together without having had it planned, because we talked about this off camera. The Punisher wasn't they didn't plan on this. So
yeah, like you brought that up before off camera, like you said, like you think they had this show planned when they casted him for Daredevil season 2, and I don't think they did. I think his performance while they were filming it, they were like, man, it's pretty damn good, and it was really good. John Bernthal is really, really good at what he does, and he's perfect for this role. So they were like, you know what, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And I joked with my fiance when I showed her the trailer.
Oh yay, fiance!
Yeah.
It feels like shut up on him. Yeah.
When when I showed her the trailer last night, and she's like, "Oh, this is finally coming out." And I go, "Yeah." I mean, I feel like it's been a long time since we saw The Punisher, and we knew the last New York Comic Con. Remember, he showed up.
Yes.
John Bernthal showed up, and he was like, "Yeah, there's a series now." And
him and Karen.
And Karen Page, and they announced it there that Karen Page was going to join him.
Now, do you think there's a romance there?
I hope not.
low-key.
You want to?
Low-key, I kind of hope it, because I don't want Karen and Daredevil.
That's fair, but I don't want her anywhere.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think Daredevil and Frank Castle are on good terms? Because he did kind of save his life,
They're on as good terms as you can be, like almost like a respect, but like, don't come back to Hell's Kitchen sort of thing. Like, if you come back, I'm going to take you down because you're killing people.
Fair.
So it's like, as long as you stay out of my city, we're fine. I don't know if that will come into play later, because I don't know where this takes place. Like, there was like woods, right? There was a scene in the woods. There was a scene, all over the place. I was like, where is this taking place? Because the comic books, he's been around, like recently, like he moved to like California,
right,
and stuff like that. But he's normally based in New York. So
I saw the Brooklyn Bridge and some shots.
Okay, so I don't know if that's the present or the past.
Bridge,
I don't know.
I wasn't positive. It was some sort of, you could see a skyline. It's got to be New York.
It could be New York. It could be Chicago, I guess. I don't know what they want.
Why you say Chicago? Why you say Chicago?
I don't know, because it's Chicago's metro area is like very similar to New York, so it could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've been.
But I did it's definitely going to go into his military flashbacks. So that's his wife in the trailer.
Yes.
Now, what do you know about her? Is she...
That was his wife, and she died.
She died, okay.
Yeah, she's dead, and like his kid is dead, and that fuels his, vigilanteism.
Right.
And
would you call him that?
Yeah. Definitely a vigilante. Like, he's not in the law.
Right.
And he's just a killer. That's really all he is.
Yeah.
He's an anti-hero, if anything. Like, he's a hero, like, he's, like, on the good guy's side, because he's only doing it to bad people.
Right.
But, like, his methods are way beyond heroic.
Now, that's what we saw I saw in that Comic-Con room, that we can only describe the footage. It was him basically executing hits on random people, like you said, bad people. And one of them was, like, him in Texas, like, shooting someone, like, through the head in Mexico or whatever.
I remember those tweets,
Yeah, it was crazy, yeah.
So I feel like I don't recall, I should go back and watch it, but I don't remember where he left. He just left.
Burned his house, right?
Yeah, and he left. And he might have been, like, traveling all over the place, like Mexico, like you said. He's probably
So you think that's in present day?
Yeah, I feel like he's going around, like, getting information on who did all this, whoever that might be, the blacksmith or whatever, and going to Mexico, finding something there, going back here. He'll probably bounce around, I feel.
Now, something I just thought of is, what's that Dogs of Hell, or is that what they're called? That motorcycle gang that was in Daredevil Season 1 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
They were on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too?
They were mentioned.
Well, definitely Daredevil. I remember that motorcycle gang. Yeah.
I just remembered. I just put it together. They were also in that Comic-Con trailer. Because he ran down a motorcycle gang, and you could see on the back of their thing it said like
Hellhounds or something.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, though. I remember in Daredevil that whole scene in that building.
Yeah.
And
outside the bar, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where Daredevil had his patented.
Right.
Alley hallway scene fight.
Yeah. I just remembered, so I wonder how they're going to come into play.
Maybe because they remember he did that sort of thing. They're like, okay, yeah, we're going to get you.
I mean, that's a cool story arc.
It
was like a good villainous motorcycle gang.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll play into like the bigger role of the series, but they might show up again and be like, hey, you, like, the first couple episodes, like, you messed up our bikes or whatever. And then he's like, oh yeah? And starts killing them.
Right. Oh man, it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I love the trailer. It was like I'm not the biggest Punisher fan. Like, just to be straight up. Cause
like from the comics, or you mean in general?
In general, I just like I see the appeal why people like him because of his like I'm just gonna kill people and do it to bad people who need it, and like be proactive about it. Like I'm not gonna wait for them to do stuff. I'm gonna go out and go get them. But I don't know. It's just something about him. Just like I don't know. I guess rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's weird because like I like Arrow and everything. In the beginning, he killed everybody.
Yo, I was actually when I was watching that trailer, I was like, oh, this has some Arrow tones to it, but it's clearly way more intense.
Way more intense. And that's what Punisher is. He's just very intense, like a military guy. I'm going to torture you for information, kill you in a bunch of different ways, like Rambo, really.
Right.
So
it's crazy if Netflix had like ratings, you know, like all the shows they put out. It's like this one would have to be like triple R.
Triple R. As long as it's not triple X, we're fine.
But it's gonna be the only show that successfully uses metal music. Like,
are they? Well, I mean, they had oh crap. Who was the band that was in the?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know metal.
The guy who does Metallica. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
That's Metallica. And that was dope. Like I metal could be used in like I'm not a metal fan, but like sometimes they're pretty good. Like Metallica's pretty good, and used in the right way, it could set a good mood. Like it's like a really intense, like get amped.
Absolutely,
kind of music.
Yeah. Go to the gym, pump some iron,
shoot some bad guys. You know? that's what he does.
Yeah.
So I like that part of it because I was like, oh, that's nice. You know, we had Luke Cage with the hip hop vibe in the background.
Yep.
Did you say like it was like more EDM for?
It didn't turn out to be that musically driven Iron Fist.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, but like trailers were very EDM.
That's very true. Yeah.
This has more metal. I don't know if it'll be. I honestly don't think it'll play too big of a role.
I think it's going to be a quieter series. He's not a big talker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Punisher's not a talker. Yeah. He's just like, I'm going to do what I got to do.
And that leads into I was going to say, I'm looking forward to, like, the singular nature of this show. Yeah. You know, because it's kind of like, what could I compare it to? But you know what I mean? Like, continuity is not as important. You know what I mean? It kind of stands on its own. It's going to be dark. It's going to be like a psychological kind of a thriller.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're not going to need to have watched Daredevil Season 2 to get it, because they'll go back with the flashbacks so you can understand his character, obviously. Right. Because the tones are going to be different, so it could be like its own thing, like you said, its own universe. Where it comes into play is when Karen comes in, because then you need to like understand that.
Turk, that... Yo, I forgot.
Oh, the DEA?
Yeah, that's his name, right? That was in the other
DEA,
two shows, right? Luke Cage and Defenders, or Iron Fist? I heard...
The guy who was the attorney's assistant.
Is that who he is?
Wasn't he? Oh, Turk, the...
Oh, you're thinking of Blake Tower.
Yeah.
Not Blake Tower.
Oh, you're talking about Turk, the drug dealer guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in literally every show.
People are comparing him to the new Rosario Dawson, you know?
Okay. I don't know about that.
What? Damn, you rubbed that off really quick. You're like, I don't know.
Because Rosario Dawson had like a huge role in all these shows.
I mean, define huge. I mean...
She's had a lot of screen time.
That was one of my problems with her, though. We don't know that much about her.
We know enough. Like, we know enough, like, her mom runs
Nurses
a diner
are important,
or
okay?
They're very important. They're underappreciated.
I want her to go to medical school pretty bad, but I don't... Do you see John Bernthal? I keep telling him that. The Punisher, Frank Castle, like, is he going to get injured, or is he just going to run shit the whole time? What's going to be? Is it going to be him trying to fight off PTSD and trauma? What is going to be driving this plot?
He might have to... because he never really came to grips with that part of it. I don't think you ever would do, honestly. So I think Karen, that's why Karen's there. Like, we shit on her all the time, but I'm kind of glad she's there because him by himself is like you said, too quiet, too intense. You know, I think she'll bring a little levity to it, kind of like reel him in a bit. And maybe there's a romance there, who knows.
I like their tension though, because it's
the chemistry together is nice.
Yeah, it was one of the highlights of, I would say, Daredevil season 2 for sure. Just the intimacy in their relationship without that what people normally associate
with physical,
right. And I really enjoy when we explore those sides of characters. It's so easy to put a romance in. It's so easy to have sappy love dialogue or whatever. But it was really a complicated body language, and I feel like that's really falls down on the acting, you know?
Yeah, like they both actors like they say without having to say anything, which was like really interesting. Like they could just like look at each other and just be like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And you brought up off camera, like I kind of forgot about Karen's past, shady past kind of thing.
Oh yeah. That
was brought up by the Kingpin and whatever. That's where they have a connection as well. I don't know if they'll explore that more. So I think that's like an interesting point. I think they're a good foil for each other. Like she kind of like had to deal with a lot of trauma in the beginning, and she got over it, and he's still obviously dealing with it.
I think they ought to, because you know, I just wonder, I'm so curious about the production of this, because it's like, so you introduce this mystery accident that killed Karen's teenage brother or whatever. Did they ever plan on developing that arc? You know what I mean? Because Daredevil season 3, there's not going to be any time to do Karen Page stuff.
Yeah, we don't think so anyway.
I don't think so. You know, we already saw the interaction of her knowing that he's Daredevil. She's not fucking with it. She's just not having it. So I'm wondering if they introduced that supplementary Karen arc knowing that they could do that in The Punisher or not, you know? But like you said, I think it will complement each other really well, and I'm curious about what happened to her brother, you know?
I'm interested to see why she's in it at all.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we saw her in the Defenders, and she's still with the paper, and she's still reporting and doing things. But it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, is she reporting on something, and it has to do with him, and then their paths, like, cross? And
right.
That's kind of how I'm feeling it. Like, he comes back to New York or something, and I don't know, looking for information, or they just run into each other.
Right. Or they bounce together.
Well, because like you said, the DA, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's in it, and he's like, oh, who's the Punisher's backer? I forgot the line. But it was like something like that. So
wait, so Blake Towers in this?
Yeah. Wasn't that him at the end?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't watching that closely. I did an interview with him a few years ago.
I remember you did.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure it was him because they brought. It was him.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah,
and it makes sense because he's the new DA.
That makes absolute sense. Yeah.
So he has to come back to New York.
Mm-hmm. I like
which is nice because Daredevil's not around.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I wrote this.
Hashtag I wrote this. Hashtag no you didn't.
Look at my IMDb page. I have a lot of writing credits.
But I actually, Karen Page's newspaper reporting gig is one of my favorites I've ever seen in a show. I think they do it really well.
It's interesting. As journalists ourselves, it's interesting. I was like, what was she? She was assisting Matt Murdock and Foggy, and then like she kind of just like got thrust into this role because of that one thing she did.
Right.
It's like, okay, you can write for us now. I'm like, sure, okay.
Yeah. That was a little odd, but
that's how it works. But okay.
Apprenticeship is the way. You know?
I guess. What's his name? The guy who died. Ben, right?
Oh, I forgot he died. That's so sad.
Yeah, like he must have been like.
Wait, did he die? Mm-hmm. How did he die again?
Kingpin killed him.
Like, slaughtered him? Like, how did it go down?
I don't remember. I think he got shot by people chasing them, I think.
Damn, Ben, you're a legend. R.I.P.
Yeah, he died.
Actually, that makes sense because she goes into his office and that's when we see the paper that's like, mystery accident kills.
That's why she's in his office.
Yeah, exactly.
She took his office. Mm-hmm. Did he get choked out by the Kingpin?
That's so sad.
Something happened. Damn, like I gotta rewatch that season.
There's just so many hours of television these days.
But that was so long ago. When was season 2? Was it the beginning of 2016?
I'm trying to think about what time of year I sat in my bed and binged it all weekend.
Because New York Comic Con was last October, and that it was already done by then. It had to be that earlier that year. It had to be earlier that year.
It had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been rewatching Daredevil season 1.
Because Luke Cage just came out too, I think. Luke Cage came out like 2 weeks before Comic Con.
Yeah, because it was in September. Yeah.
So that was in September. So yeah, it had to be. Yeah, it had to be season 2. Yep.
Yeah, because they were really hyping up the Iron Fist promo.
Yes, because that was coming out the following year, and Jessica Jones came out the year before. Yeah. Okay, so got our times. Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna get any surprise cameos or not. You know, I'm hoping not.
I think we'll get a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with his character in the comics, but I thought the long-haired guy, was the guy who was always in a van, and like he went out and did things, and he was the guy like in the chair,
like doing the mechanical weaponry. That's Micro. Yeah.
I don't know that was his name though. I thought it was like an actual, just have a name.
Okay.
Maybe that's his. I guess that's his.
Do you remember the actor's name?
No. The actor's name, no, because it's a guy I did not recognize.
Eben Moss Bachrach Girls, a former NSA analyst whose secrets may be of great value to Frank Castle and everyone around them. That's the casting description.
Micro. Yeah, it probably is. David Linus Microchip Lieberman is a fictional character appearing in... okay.
But there's also one that might be it. Ben Barnes plays Billy Russo, Frank Castle's best friend from his days in the Special Forces. He runs a successful military corporation called Anvil with ties to the massacre that murdered Frank Castle's family. Billy Russo is the arch enemy of the Punisher in the comics. He goes by Jigsaw and is head of a crime syndicate.
Well, it had to be Micro.
That's a villain, yeah.
Yeah, it had to be Micro, because he was like, oh yeah, I'll work with you. Oh, if you don't mind me killing people. And he was like, no, it's fine.
It might be, back in the day, they leaked audition script that was like, that, because at first it was unclear, because there's times in the comics where him and Micro aren't on good terms, and there are times when they weren't. Mm-hmm. So that was really going into the series. You saw that CD, we wondered, is it someone who he, was on good terms with or on bad terms with? And it seems like, from what I've seen, they make up in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they need each other's help. So they kind of just put the past behind them. Yeah. Yeah,
it's interesting because, like, he's normally... I always think of, like, the Spider-Man animated series from the early 90s, from the 90s. And the Punisher was in a few of those episodes.
Oh, really?
And he had a guy who was in the van giving him intel from the van. And it was normally a balding, shorter guy.
Interesting.
And this guy was, like, lanky, long hair. So I'm like... I mean, they take liberties with the adaptations, but I was just like... Is that the guy who's supposed to be his buddy? Like I said, I don't remember the name.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are there a lot of hardcore Punisher comic book fans? Like, is that a thing?
He's like, people love the Punisher in the way that people love, like, Venom and Carnage and things like that. Like, people love him, and like he has such an iconic look, just the skull. Oh, it's like everywhere.
Shout out to the costume designer, because that was amazing. Some of those, the lighting and the way the blood comes on. I like
in the trailer, like you hear like the spray paint.
Yeah.
And like he's like putting it on his body armor and whatever.
Man, yeah.
It's such an iconic look, you know. So it's popular in that way, and a lot of people, like I said, people love that like violent stuff.
Yeah. And
I think people are really drawn to his proactive style of like, I'm just going to kill people before they do things.
Right.
So I think he's popular in that sense. I don't know how well his books sell or things like that, but he's popular enough that I think he can like sell books if he like shows up in Spider-Man. Now what show up somewhere else?
What about his, like you said, he shows up in other books. Are there any iconic partnerships that you know of that maybe in the future after?
Well, Daredevil was a lot of them. His first appearance was in Spider-Man, so that ain't happening though. Yeah.
Like after Punisher season 1, I mean, do you think that Netflix is just going to gauge the reception and go from there? Do you think they already have something planned?
I don't think they know.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to have such a far, direction and vision for these characters, but I don't think right now, I don't think they know.
I'd love to see Kingpin in this.
It would be nice. Like that's the person he's like so tied to is Kingpin. But he's tied to so many other people, like Daredevil, obviously Spider-Man, obviously. So he's a villain to all the street level people in New York. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know.
I'm hoping we'll get to see the first person that calls him the Punisher, because that's something John Barenthal said right away after Daredevil season 2. He was like, "Look, the Punisher, like you didn't see the Punisher in Daredevil. You saw Frank Castle." So I'm curious. I don't know what that means.
That could mean that when he was doing that stuff in Daredevil, he was very like unfocused. Mm-hmm. Like he was just like a madman. And now I feel like he's kind of more focused, like Rambo. And just like, all right, I'm going to go use my skills and go kill some people. Mm. So I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but...
I mean, yeah.
It's so interesting because like Kingpin like showed up in season 2 in the jail, and they both met in the jail, and that's where their first meeting was.
Interesting.
So I don't know. He has nothing to do with the overall Punisher storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first Punisher movie, Kingpin was the reason. That was the one who killed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm wrong. That was in Daredevil. Yeah, never mind.
Do you watch the Punisher movie?
Yeah, the first one.
Was it good?
No. John Travolta was the character who
Get
killed
the fuck
everybody.
out.
John Travolta was the
No,
villain.
he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No.
The only cool part of the first Punisher was the ending, like when he goes in and kills all of John Travolta's people. The way he does it is like nuts.
How was John Travolta's performance?
It's John Travolta.
Yeah.
And it's like funny because like there's 2 movies, like that one and a Warzone with a totally different actor, and that one I hate. Like everyone says that's more true to the comic books, and that's maybe that's bad because I don't like the character. Maybe that's why I don't like the character. I'm just like ill. Like this one was a little better, and the action was like really crazy. But
what year were those, if you recall? Like
early 2000s.
Yeah.
Maybe it was after like Daredevil and stuff like that. Ugh.
But it's crazy.
That's before they had the rights.
You know why The Punisher interests me so much as a title? It's because Marvel, Netflix, we have these 4 shows: Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Cage. That's it. You know what I mean? Are they just gonna what's happening with these? I mean, Iron Fist isn't really the most anticipated, even though Netflix keeps saying, "Oh, it was streamed more than you thought." You know, there's got to be some sort of an end game. These shows can't just keep living on forever. Audiences are getting a little bit tired of the formula.
Well, that report that the Defenders was the least watched of all of them.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Because Iron Fist, I think, gave a lot of people a bad taste in their mind.
I just think people were intimidated if they haven't watched the other shows.
That could be it too. Like I felt Iron Fist, like you said, like people watched it more. I think they wanted to see the train wreck because people were saying it was really bad.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, I want to see how bad this really is.
Yeah. I also think that, you know, there's probably a lot of people who maybe didn't want to admit that they loved it. Like,
Iron
if
Fist?
that makes sense, you know what I mean? Because look, if you have a certain mindset or maybe you don't understand like what, you know, the criticisms were, in not necessarily in the show and the production, but in the actual take of the character, you know what I mean? A lot of people maybe couldn't even understand where people were coming from when they were upset about the initial casting, when they were upset about how the character was portrayed, and, you know, in relation to things that were going on in society. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people who probably watched it and then like didn't say anything or didn't talk to people about it, you know what I mean, that actually liked it. I don't know.
You mean critics and everybody?
Not necessarily critics, just fans, you know what I mean?
I mean, they can't fudge the numbers, you know, streaming-wise, you know?
Well, Netflix doesn't release its numbers, so we're taking their word for it, which could be just some kind of a PR bullshit, you know?
True. It used to be bad, but it's like, no, it's like a spin, like, it's not as bad as it could have been, sort of thing.
Well, what's bad about it is the problematic nature of his character. It's not necessarily, I mean, the writing's not the best. But, like,
yeah, well,
it's really, at its core,
too.
Yeah, exactly. It's the problematic nature of Iron Fist's character that was terrible. I don't know if it's Finn Jones' fault. I don't know if it's the writing fault. So all I can blame it on is the core values of that character, which are problematic. You know what I mean? So I think that was the problem mainly with Iron Fist. I don't think it really had much to do with the action sequences and blah, 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 blah. You know, if we had a strong character with a journey that people wanted to follow, it would have been better received no matter what. So I think that there's a lot of people who probably don't understand why the character is problematic, watched it, liked it, didn't have anyone to talk to about how much they liked it. You know what I mean? And, didn't, you know?
Yeah. Like, people are like, no, I don't want to...
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, put myself out there.
Right.
Like, I don't want to defend this show. You don't have to defend it. Like, you liked it, who cares? Yeah. But, like, you know, it's not as, like, I always say this, like, it's not as bad as everyone says it was. I felt that way about Iron Fist. Like, it was boring. That's probably the worst thing about it is that it's boring.
Yeah.
It's not bad, it's just boring.
Right.
And, you know, in the character, I think it's a combination of the writing and the acting, personally, that it was just like, yeah, they didn't give him great lines, but he didn't deliver them either. Like he felt very like whatever.
See, I blame that on the writing, to be honest, and I hate to say it. I'm sure Scott Buck has done some great projects, but I saw the same problem with Inhumans. It was the same fucking problem, and it's like, how much can you keep blaming it on the actors? Where's the producer at telling the actor like, oh hey, can you do this a fucking again the right goddamn way?
Okay, would you agree with me that same Scott Buck whoever wrote both, right? But the performance of Finn Jones and the performance of the people in Inhumans are different. Right, the people who actually did the Inhumans, I felt like was way better than how Finn Jones, delivered his lines.
But that's the problematic nature of his character to begin with. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be this aloof dumbass. You know what I mean?
I felt like they I'm not the expert on Iron Fist in the comic books, but I felt like they characterized it really off.
Yeah, they did.
Like he was way off. I'm like.
Can you imagine?
I thought he was more jokey than this. I thought he was chill.
Imagine being Finn Jones, reading the script, having read the comics and done your research and gone in there.
And it's funny because then you see glimpses of it in Defenders, and we've said it like multiple times, where it's like this is the Iron Fist that we wanted. Like this is pretty good. Like his banter with Luke Cage and his banter with Daredevil and his banter all over the place. Like yeah, that's pretty, and he's pretty chill. And it showed. Like Finn Jones' performance went way up. Yeah. When he had that stuff. Yeah. And I think the directors were different, or whoever wrote the scripts was different. But
I mean, as an actor, no matter what you say, if he shouldn't have, because now there's actors who are coming out and not taking the roles because they feel, an actor of color or a certain ethnicity should play the role. I mean, putting that aside, this kid had a lot of pressure going into that role. Mm-hmm. Automatically met with backlash. He gets in, maybe the script isn't the best. He gets in, the character itself isn't really what comic book fans like, even regardless of the casting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What happens if they had cast an actor that was more representative and inclusive? Would the script still have sucked?
Yeah, it would have.
So it's a really hard situation.
Yeah, it's hard because you can't, because it's all what ifs. That's what it is. Like, would the different actor have performed it better? Who knows? Yeah. So like you said, the script is the same. Right. I don't know. I mean, let me put it this way. I said this from the get about, I think it was, I'm not gonna say dumb, but I don't see why people were like, we gotta cast an Asian for Iron Fist. And I felt like they had a vision for what Iron Fist was supposed to be white. Like, they wanted him to be white because of his dialogue with Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was like almost like that white privilege that they were trying to show. And it's like, okay, see, like, there's white privilege, and he could see the error of his ways or something. You know what I mean? And you can't have that way. So the script would be different, I would say. Like, if he was Asian, he wouldn't have the same character arc. It would just be like, would it be a rich Asian guy? Right. And it's like, he doesn't have the same white privilege. Right. But that's why I felt like it had to be a white guy, and that's what their plan was the whole time. And you could see it in Defenders, and why that relationship with Luke Cage worked, and all that dialogue and talk they had. Right. So maybe the script would have been different, because you just have to think of it that way. Like, whether it's a white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, you're writing for the character, and the race plays a role in a lot of things.
It does.
Yeah. So your circumstances and the situations and settings you're in is different depending on your race. Yeah.
I think it would have been interesting if I would have liked, I think the true test here would have been, maybe they chose a different writer to write. Mm-hmm. To write either role, if it was an Asian American actor or a white actor. It would have been, maybe they could have given someone else besides a white man, that script, Maybe that would have alleviated, because when you have people of color in the creative process, it really does make a difference no matter who the cast is, So yeah, I think the industry learned a lot from Iron Fist. So I don't know how we got to Iron Fist.
I don't know. I was thinking okay, we get to this deep ass conversation about racism and stuff and diversity. I mean, you brought up an interesting point though. I guess we could end that portion. Yeah. Like you bring up an interesting point about bringing in it makes sense if you're gonna write a role or a show about an Asian American to bring in Asian Americans to write the script, right?
Or you mean maybe not necessarily an Asian American, you know what I mean? Just making sure to have somebody that's leading the fray of the script. Obviously, there's a huge writer's room. I don't know who's in the writer's room. Yeah. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is, it's obvious from Inhuman's tone that Scott Buck has a certain style that probably isn't conducive, you know what I mean, to writing characters that have a background that maybe he's not the most familiar with. I don't know Scott Buck, you know what I mean? The guy's really likable. I sat across a round table from him, nothing against him. I don't know how to write a fucking script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But also I guess I try to think about solutions to this problem, you know? And I think a solution to the problem, if you're going to cast a white actor in a role that you know is going to have, you know, probably should have gone to an Asian American actor, but you're doing it because you feel that there's a greater purpose. You want to explore white privilege in the Defenders or whatever. At least have make sure to have a writer's room that can handle that and do it appropriately, because the very nature of his character was problematic. You know, whatever race the actor was. You know,
I felt like, and it goes back to what we were saying before, like, his characterization was wrong. It was off.
Yeah.
That's how, I think that was the problem. It's not necessarily the Iron Fist character is problematic. It's just the way they portrayed him was problematic, and what they threw him into. Like, you could have made that work and yet still had him way more likable.
Right.
Because he wasn't likable. That's the problem. It's like, okay, the show's boring. The main protagonist is unlikable.
Right. Yeah.
Why should I care about this show? And, like, if you could still have this exact same plot. He comes back from, being on Lianyu and... Lianyu. Kalon. Lianyu. Kalon. We were talking about Arrow the other day.
Oh, my God. That was funny.
Kalon. Because we were talking about it on Monday, right?
We did, yeah.
I'll give you that. Kalon. And come back, be the fish out of water, but be very more, comical and more lighthearted. And not be such a tight ass, really. That's what he was. He was just like, I have this responsibility.
Well, he was whiny, like your favorite. You love whiny characters,
I
right?
don't like whiny characters. But that's what it was. He was just whiny and tight, tight ass. He was just like, I have to put everything on my shoulders kind of thing. And you could still be that way, but still be likable. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to, like, really, like, put into words. But just, like, he's just so, like, leave me alone. I want to be a loner. I'm Batman, whatever. And it's like, no, you're not supposed to be Batman.
You're not as cool as Batman.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not Batman. You're Iron Fist. No one really knows you. Be cool. And it's just like, he's not.
Yeah.
Punisher, though.
The Punisher, he's not likable, but he is, like you were saying.
Like he's not supposed to be liked. That's the funny part. Like, he's all intents and purposes, he's a bad guy. He's killing a bunch of people. Even though they are bad people, like, two wrongs don't make it right.
Do you think he gives a fuck what people think about him?
Of course not.
And I'm looking forward to that, because we have a lot of these characters who struggle with that. You know what I mean?
Well, he had that whole thing with the Daredevil in season 2. Like, you're gonna, he told Daredevil, was like, one day you're gonna be in my position where something just throws you over the edge and you're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm already there. So you're going to be in my shoes one day.
Wow.
And it was just like, so you get that gray area,
right.
which Punisher, like, does great. The character is great in, like, kind of blurring the black and white, and Daredevil was a great foil because he's like, his religion and everything's like, no, we can't kill. That's like number one in Catholicism. Like, that's one of the 10 Commandments. You can't kill. And Punisher's like, fuck that. I'm going to kill whoever I want. I don't care if, I go to hell afterwards, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, my conscience is clean because I killed a bunch of bad people.
Yeah. The thing was that he has nothing to lose in his eyes. His family is past.
Yep.
He goes to hell and,
But that's the thing. Like, he's doing all this crazy stuff, killing a bunch of people. Like, if they come kill me, I die. I already lost everything, like you said.
Right.
Like, he lost his family. That was everything to him.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take as many people down with me.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was. It's just going to interesting, like, I saw some people react to the trailer, who kind of share my sentiments where, like, they don't like the comic book character, so they're, like, kind of, like, with this.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to, like, kind of draw a connection with somebody, with a character like the Punisher, who's, like, clearly out of his mind.
Yeah.
And really just, is just, will go to those lengths,
Is he out of his mind, though?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Because sometimes I wonder that. It's like, who's really out of their mind? Is it these people that we deem crazy and psychotic? Or are we the ones that aren't, because we're not willing to accept certain things about the way the world works, you know?
Well, that's a good point, because he brings that up a lot. It's like, okay, well, if I let this guy go and he comes back a month later and kills someone you love, you could have saved your loved one by killing him now.
Yeah.
So it brings interesting dynamics. That's why I like even though personally I don't like the character of Karen Page, her being there kind of humanizes the whole thing and gives us someone to connect with. Because he doesn't want to be connected with. That's pretty much his shtick.
But he likes her. There's something that draws him to her. I think it's her genuinity.
Yeah,
I always fuck up that word. Okay.
She's just genuine. Like
Yes,
she's just genuine. Like, and I feel like she showed a lot of spunk and like I need to get to the truth.
Right.
Kind of thing that he admires. I think he admires her more than anything. It's nothing romantic. It's nothing like that. It's admiration for her.
The scene where he killed that guy right in front of her, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
That was one of the most intense scenes, yeah.
Yeah, because doesn't she go to the guy, the colonels?
They're in the middle of the fucking forest. Yeah, and they're in that little cabin or whatever. Oh, that was a scary scene.
And then we I didn't think it was him, honestly.
Yeah.
The colonel.
Oh, you didn't see it coming?
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, I maybe, I don't know. But I remember when she first got there, I thought he was going to die, like, by someone else, the bad guys, the actual bad guys. But I didn't think he was the actual bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Wait, so how did the Punisher come into play in Daredevil? Like, how did he first appear?
He was the bad guy in the first, like, 4 episodes, wasn't he? He's just, like, killing people.
And Daredevil just noticed.
Yeah, he just started his rampage. Like it was like kind of like rumblings between the cops and everything, and he finally runs into him.
I got it. Okay, yeah.
And then they have that thing on the roof, and he gets shot.
Right.
And then he gets to go to Rosario Dawson.
Oh, I love that scene, the final scene on the roof where it's like you literally.
Oh, he chains them up and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I think it's the final scene of the episode where it lets her dies or whatever, and then you don't see it coming, and then all of a sudden the camera goes over to the Punisher with like his sniper on the other roof. To me, I didn't see that coming.
I remember, was it the first episode when they were fighting, and then it ends with him being shot and thrown off a roof?
Who?
Daredevil.
It might be.
I think that was like, yeah.
Daredevil's so freaking good.
That show is so good.
Oh my god. That's fun.
Yeah, like I told you, like I'm on Comixology Unlimited. I highly recommend that. It's like a monthly.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
I've been reading like a lot of Daredevil lately, like Kevin Smith's run and everything, and it's like Karen Page was.
Kevin Smith's run.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's actually pretty good. Like at first I was like, eh.
How did he get into that? I wonder. He loves Daredevil, doesn't he?
He loves comic books.
Yeah, he loves anything.
And like, he wrote this really interesting arc. It was like very long too. I was just like, I was reading it for like a week.
Long-winded.
And I was like, it must have been like a 7-issue arc or something like that. It was like really long. And Karen Page was in it, and it kind of like takes place after what Daredevil season 3 is gonna be about. Because like his mother plays in the role in it,
right? And
Karen Page plays a role in it.
Oh, so you're reading it for hints? Okay.
No, I'm not. It was like so unintentional. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's just like it was so unintentional. Like I just kind of like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. I read about this before. Because I really don't know the character of Daredevil, the comic book character.
Right.
Like I know a little bit here and there, but I haven't really read any of it. And this is like the first time I'm really diving in. And it's like, oh, this is actually very interesting.
Yeah. I'm low-key, like, fingers crossed that DC's new, like, streaming service is going to include, like, a part of it where it's going to have, like, Marvel Unlimited where you can pay for the... Please, for the love of God, DC, can you just do that for me?
You should come to Comixology Unlimited, DC, because Marvel's done it.
That's what I'm saying. How do you read digital comics for... I just don't...
I do it on the phone. I do it on the train.
No, I mean,
that's, like,
DC.
easy.
Like, I can't...
Oh, their own app, right? Yeah.
I can't... I have to buy it all individually. I support artists and writers. I really want to, but, like, I'm fucking broke. Like, I want to read you.
I literally want to go to Midtown over here because Metal, Batman, DC Metal.
Yeah, people are loving it.
So dope.
People are fucking loving it.
Like, I've been reading up on it. Like, I've been sending you, like, articles about it. I'm like, yo, this is so crazy. Like, I want to read it.
That's what everyone's talking, yeah.
I want to, like, read that, and I want to read everything leading up to Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, me too. Well, what do you have left to... Oh, you have a lot.
Like, I haven't read The Button at all.
Yeah.
So, I know that's, like, a kind of a mini-series.
The Mr. Oz stuff leading up with that, yeah.
Where is that? Is that on Batman or Superman or Justice League?
What, The Button?
No, the Oz stuff.
I think it's Superman, right?
You think it's Superman?
I don't know.
I think maybe it's Justice League.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I gotta read up on Rebirth stuff, too, up there, yeah. I have a lot to fucking read. There's no way I'm gonna be able to read it all. There's no way. Yeah.
I'm hoping the buttons didn't trade, maybe.
I feel like I might be okay. I don't know. There's so many think pieces on it. Like
I loaned you Watchmen, so you'll get it's long.
Which I've read bits and pieces of, never as a 25-year-old,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read it until college when the movie was coming out. Yeah. I was like, I should read this.
The series just got
HBO.
Yeah, I wonder what that's gonna be like. DC's really going.
Because they have to do something with the Watchmen every so often, or the rights go back to was it Alan Moore?
Oh, really?
That's why they did the Before Watchmen miniseries.
Oh, which were like, it wasn't very.
No, they were like, this is the prequels and how their origins, every hero's origins.
Did you like the Watchmen movie?
I did actually.
Yeah, okay.
That's like literally, I don't think anyone else, and Zack Snyder did that one too. And it was just like, everyone shits on it, but it's like, nothing will come close to the book as that movie. Yeah. Like, this like almost beat for beat what the movie
Why don't people like it? Why are people so...
I think they don't like Snyder's style. Mm-hmm. It's very stylistic.
So why do they keep hiring him?
Because he makes money.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, so why do people fucking hate? Like, I don't get it. Money. Like, you're not going to have these movies unless someone writes it.
The guy who... You need to... Before you watch them... I can loan you the movie. I think I have the movie, too.
I've seen it many times.
Okay. Because it's like I read the book, and I, like, breezed through the book because I knew I was going to watch the movie with my friends. And I remember I was like in between classes in college, and I was like, all right, I'm going to read this. And I'm reading it, and it's getting close to my next period. I'm like, and I got to a point in the book, I'm like, holy shit, I can't stop now, but I have to go to class. Yeah. I was like, yo, this book is... That was like in the 80s, I think. Yeah. So I was just like... Yo,
you were in college in the 80s?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The book takes place... the book takes place in the... the book was written in the 80s, but it takes place in the 70s? Yeah. Because Nixon was around? I don't remember. Something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, any closing thoughts on The Punisher, Frank Castle?
I'm interested. Yeah, I think it's a good palate cleanser after Defenders. Yeah. Where it was like, Defenders kind of disappointed me, and this is like something totally different. Yeah. And I'm hoping, and I like John Bernthal's performance and him as an actor, so.
I want to see some, like, Lady Punisher cosplay, I would totally be the Punisher.
There was,
I think I would be a good Punisher, I think. It's, like, so not my personality that, like...
I'm sure Marvel has done it already, because I know there's a 2099 Punisher that's, like, really crazy looking. Yeah. I'm sure there's a Lady Punisher somewhere.
I didn't see any at the few Comic-Cons I've been to, but...
I know the comics, it had to be one. Try to read it real quick.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be one for a lady to be the Punisher.
No, you could just be a gender-bent one. Yeah. Girl Punisher. This might be a bad Google search.
Woman Punisher.
Whatever. Whoa, what is... Okay, this was a bad search. There's a bunch of cosplayers. That's pretty much what it is. What is this?
Damn.
It's probably someone just fan art.
Yeah, I love fan art. I think I'll buy a Punisher shirt. I would.
It's such a like simple, clean design. Yeah. Like I don't know who was it. I don't think it was Stan Lee, but whoever created it was like, legit good. Probably wasn't Stan Lee, but whoever was on Spider-Man at the time, Ditko. I don't know. Anyway.
Anyhow. Hopefully it'll be out in November. Hopefully. If it's not out in November, it'll be out December, and hopefully if it's not out December, it'll be out January, and...
No, it's going to be 2017, they said. The trailers say 2017.
Oh, wait, it did? Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's blacked out in 2017. I think they'll announce it at Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con.
You think they're saving it so that... It's so late, though.
No, it's 2 weeks from now. And then it could be the end of November, and we'll have like a month and a half.
Please, God, let this be the slowest 2 weeks that you ever made, because I need time before Comic-Con. Like, yeah.
I mean, I think I'm going to take it easy this year, honestly.
Oh, well, yeah, a lot of other people are doing some stuff, so...
I know, we have a lot of people going.
Yeah.
So, hopefully you can get into the
and
panel.
Honestly, there's not that much... like, all things considered...
This year is weird because the amount of construction, which is one reason why I don't want to be around that long. It's just like...
Oh, you mean at the Javits?
Yeah, I think that might be crowded.
Yeah. There's not as much highly anticipated stuff happening. Like, it's only The Punisher for Marvel. I'm hoping there's, like, some kind of surprise announcement, you know what I mean?
Well, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s going to be there, too.
This is true, and the Runaways.
Runaways, Gifted is going to be there, Walking Dead's going to be there.
Yeah.
So TV's gonna be really big there. Movies, nothing.
Movies, yeah, there's nothing.
Nothing really.
Yeah. There's a few good panels. I'm looking forward to the hip hop and comics panel.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Stay tuned for more Punisher news out of NYCC.
Yeah, we'll be there. I hope you guys will be there.
Hopefully we'll both get into the panel. That'd be dope.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like last time when you got me into Iron Fist, I was like, yeah.
And hopefully we can actually do a nice, post Comic Con roundup. It was a little difficult in San Diego, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Make sure to follow us at Cape Talk Podcast on Twitter, Player.1 on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So. And
our individual Twitter.
Oh yeah. which you guys will see in the bio you saw earlier. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys.
Later.